Alexandra. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we are recording this. So please welcome Emily Callie, who is our presenter today. And while Emily is incredibly youthful and so young, she started her career as a CPA, and then because of having an illness herself, started looking into integrative medicine and nutrition and all the wonderful powers that are out there to help us live a very full life. She's a graduate from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and she works one-on-one with clients to help them navigate allergies, food sensitivities, and help them really realize what they're missing out on in life. Through her coaching business, which is called Simply Well, she helps her clients add more whole foods to their diet, decipher nutrition labels, and live their fullest and most vibrant lives. On a personal note, not working with Emily, but my son-in-law, when he was 35, turned his life around by working with someone like Emily, and didn't even realize how his diet was affecting everything in his life. And it just completely turned his life around. So Emily, we are thrilled to have you here with us today. And thank you so much. So over to you.
Thanks so much, Karen. So let me just go and start the screen share. So yeah, I am a graduate from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I really love to focus on whole foods and incorporating whole foods into our diets. And in particular, what I'm going to talk about today is supporting your immune system with whole foods, which I think is pretty relevant with everything that's going on in the world today. So the more we can support our immune system and prepare ourselves if we do get exposed to this virus, the better. There we go. So food is a cultural thing, 100%. There's no way to separate the two. Food can be sentimental. You can have a sense of identity through food. So like that dish that your grandma makes and has been in your family for generations. There's family traditions around food. I can just think of, Thanksgiving is a huge food tradition, and each family is going to have their own different dishes that they're going to have at their Thanksgiving. Food is tied to memories. I'm sure everyone's experienced that time when they smell something and it just brings them right back to a memory. And it can also be comforting. So Lori, I'd love to do that poll real quick. So we have a poll just to kind of get a sense where everyone's favorite foods are, because I know we all have them. We'll try to get that up. Lori, you're muted.
Lori, there we go. It says I'm logged in from a different device.
Oh.
Which is interesting since I don't have a different device. Can
I do that? Let's see.
It's right next to the screen share button.
Okay. Polls. Oh, there we go.
And then you want, I think it's number 3. There's 3 different polls.
There we go.
Yeah, and then
launch that. All right, so everyone just take a moment, and I think you can select a few.
People have it?
Yes. There we go. Yep, I'm starting to get some in. And I'm not sure, Lori, does it pop up automatically for everyone to see?
No, but I can do it if you want.
Okay, great. Yeah.
End poll and share results.
Awesome.
There we go.
All right, so just looking at this, awesome. Roasted veggies, enchiladas, smoothies, stew, and then we have chocolate chips and barbecue. Awesome. So good range, and I want to recognize all these favorite foods because there is these foods can feed a part of our soul, which does help our health. But I want to help you improve these meals so you still have the comfort of these favorite foods, but just approach it from a different perspective to benefit your well-being.
Would you like me to hide the poll results right now?
Yeah, let's close that out.
Okay.
There we go. So we can also use food as a coping mechanism, especially in times of stress. So right now is pretty stressful for everyone in different ways. So we can also be unaware of how we're using food in times of stress. So we want to, I want to give you this information, these tools, so you can bring a little more awareness into mealtime and what you're eating. So like Karen said, I'm a graduate from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and our founder, Joshua Rosenthal, one of his key beliefs is that given half a chance, the body will heal on its own. So it's a holistic approach to health. Yes, there is a place for Western medicine and doctors, but we really want to give our bodies the best chance they can have, and you know, last resort, go to doctors and medicine. And I want to bring up the wellness continuum that Freddie showed us last week, and really remind you that this is not to replace doctors or medicine. So if you're in the red or yellow area of symptoms and disability, this is not what this is to replace. This is to bring awareness and give you the tools so you can move from that green up to the purple. So we want to move in that direction. So first of all, we want to eat the rainbow. This is something my mom told me growing up all the time. You want to have a variety of colors on your plate with fruits and vegetables. You can incorporate dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, citrus fruit, nuts and seeds. So just really making sure you have that variety so you're getting different nutrients and different minerals through those various foods. And I'm going over a couple of these important vitamins and minerals that relate to our immune system. So first we have vitamin C, and everyone kind of, when flu time comes around, we get our vitamin C supplements and we up our vitamin C. But the reason we do this is because vitamin C is an antioxidant. So it fights free radicals that damage our cells. And it's important because we want our bodies to focus on protecting, really having a stronghold with the immune system rather than fixing what's been damaged. So antioxidants are really important when we're thinking of the immune system. Next, we have vitamin E, which is also an antioxidant, and it helps maintain a healthy immune system. Vitamin E is especially important for people over 50 in maintaining that good immune system. So we want to make sure we're getting a lot of vitamin E in our diets. Zinc is a key mineral. It aids in the production of immune cells. So not only do we want to protect the immune system, but we want to produce really good immune cells with zinc. Carotenoid is a pigment that is found in these vegetables and fruits. So it's kind of like a orangey red pigment, and it converts to vitamin A. And vitamin A regulates the immune system. It's also an antioxidant, and it's best absorbed either by cooking or with fat. So you can cook sweet potatoes and kale and spinach, but maybe when you're thinking of mangoes and papaya, you want to just add some nuts and seeds to it, and then you're better absorbing that carotenoid. And lastly, we have omega-3 fatty acids. So omega-3s help fight inflammation. And this is similar to the antioxidants and fighting the damage from the free radicals. You want your body to be focused on having a good immune system rather than fighting the inflammation in the body. So it's just making sure the body is focused on the task at hand and not distracted otherwise. And all of these, I do have a grocery list and some recipes at the end of this presentation. So don't worry about, remembering which vitamin and mineral goes with which food. Those are all listed at the end, so you can have those to take home. So I want want to especially focus on these powerhouses, garlic, onion, ginger, and spices, because they are so amazing in their benefits for your immune system. So garlic is antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and high in potassium. It is also a good source of, it's a good source of potassium, which is important for cellular function, fluid balance, kidney function, which flushes out all the toxins from the body, and muscle contraction. It is most effective eaten raw, which can be a little off-putting, but if you incorporate it, say, into hummus or a salad dressing, that's a really great way to get raw garlic into your diet. Next, the onion, which is the basis of almost all of my cooking. I just start with sauteing some onions, really good, smells delicious. So onions are high in vitamin C, B vitamins, high in potassium, and they're anti-inflammatories, all really great stuff. And ginger, antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antibacterial. So all the bad stuff, really great. I enjoy slicing up some ginger and putting it with some hot water and a little bit of lemon, and you have a really nice ginger tea. And finally, these spices, and they're not crazy spices, they're all spices that we have in our kitchen. So oregano, cayenne, and turmeric, and cinnamon. These are antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. Cayenne helps activate your circulatory system, so it gets the blood moving throughout your body, making sure your cell function is up there. And they make cooking fun and food delicious. So have fun putting this in with your meals. I do want to briefly touch on meat and dairy. I do not eat any animal products, but if this is part of your diet, you really want to be careful about the quality of these products that you're buying. So you want to look for organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised, antibiotic and hormone-free. You really don't want that extra stuff in your system. And buy local when possible. You're not only helping the local economy, but you can create that relationship with the local produce and farmers, and have a better idea of the quality of the meat and the products you're getting. So I also want to challenge you to think of meat and dairy, I added those together, as a side rather than the main part of the meal. So much of our society says you have to have, it's like meat is the star of the plate. You have to have that, and then vegetables can be on the side. But it hasn't always been that way. Meat, 50 years ago was a special treat. So if you can, up your veggies and keep meat and dairy as a side or a condiment, I think you're going to feel the benefits of that really quickly. And then a final note, for me, please avoid all processed meat, deli meats, bacon, sausage, and cured meats, because they've been labeled or categorized as a class 1 carcinogen. So the same area as tobacco. And so these meats have been shown to link to cancer. So just avoid those at all costs. Those are just not good for you. So we've talked about what to add, and now we're going to talk about what to avoid when it comes to the immune system. And sugar and refined starches are huge. So what we're talking about is white sugar, this is general table sugar. It can be high fructose corn syrup added to sauces and dips and whatnot. And then white flour, white bread, pastries, that kind of stuff. It turns to sugar really fast in your system. So why we're avoiding this is because sugar has been found to suppress your immune system for about 2 hours after you ingest it. So we really don't want to be suppressing our immune system right now. I know sugar can be hard to kick. So if you are having trouble with sugar cravings, up your intake of fruit and sweet vegetables like carrots and sweet potato. These eventually will balance out your body, and it will crave less sugar when you do this. It's not going to happen right away, but if you add those to your diet, it'll lessen the cravings. Next, we have your gut, which I'm very excited to talk about. I think it's fascinating. Your gut houses about 70 to 80% of your immune system. And it does this because there's about 100 trillion microorganisms living in your gut. So that's about 3 pounds of microorganisms. This is the good bacteria that's in your gut. And what they do is they create a barrier from the outside world. So all the food that you're putting in your system and your insides, you. They also aid in digestion, which is really important. Nutrient absorption. So some of these nutrients our bodies can't break down ourselves. So we rely on these microorganisms to help break them down and absorb these nutrients. And they also produce vitamins B and K. And they protect us from pathogens. So there are causes for imbalance in the gut, and the causes of these are stress, antibiotics, and medication. When you take antibiotics, they can't tell the difference between good and bad bacteria, so it wipes out everything. And so we need to be really mindful when we are taking antibiotics and medication. A lack of fiber, so that's another good reason to up your veggie intake. Lack of exercise, smoking, and alcohol can all cause imbalances in the gut. So we want to add good bacteria to our gut and starve the bad bacteria. So a couple ways we can do that. There are probiotic supplements. This is the only time I'll talk about supplements in this presentation. So the 2 common strains you'll find are Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium. If you are interested in diving in a little bit deeper, there are more specific strains that speak to your immune system, or if you want to take for general health or weight loss, I'm happy to dive into that with you guys. So just shoot me an email, I'll have that up at the end. You can also have fermented foods. Does yogurt help with that? Yeah, I'll speak to yogurt in a bit. So we can add in these foods that help with adding good bacteria. So sauerkraut, kimchi. Kimchi is a Korean fermented food with cabbage and vegetables. Yogurt, unsweetened, so we want to make sure there's no sugar in that, but yogurt's really good for the gut. Kombucha, and also miso soup is really good. So then we also want to feed the good bacteria. So these are called prebiotics, and this is fiber that isn't broken down in the stomach acid, so it makes its way to your gut, and the bacteria there feed on it and can thrive. So plantains, green bananas, mica, asparagus, legumes, Jerusalem artichoke. And I found this great little cartoon with all the good bacteria having their veggies and fruits, and the bad bacteria is having his pizza over there. So next, we all know we should stay hydrated, but it's especially important for our immune system or our immune function. So it helps our body naturally eliminate toxins and pathogens, as well as creating barriers. So when you're hydrated, then there's this protective barrier with your eyes and your nose and your mouth that helps stop the pathogens and the viruses from getting into our system. So we really want to stay hydrated. We want to have about 8 glasses a day of water, but this can totally vary depending on you and your level of activity. So just really key in and see how you're feeling with the amount of fluids that you're taking in. So you can have water with a little bit of lemon, water with apple cider vinegar, tea. So you want to focus on green, white, and herbal tea because these are more hydrating and less of a diuretic. And then soup is also a really nice way to hydrate. We want to avoid dehydrating drinks. These drinks listed are not necessarily dehydrating in themselves, but stuff like coffee and black tea can be a diuretic, so it flushes your system of fluids. So that's why they are dehydrating. Also, you want to avoid all the sugar and soda and energy drinks, and we just want to limit all of these. So if you do get sick it's going to sound like I'm repeating a little bit because all these are really good for when you are sick, but really stay hydrated. Hot tea, soup, keep the liquids coming. Really cut out sugar, like that. Immediately cut it out. It's not doing you any good when you are sick. Add in the garlic, onion, and ginger. You can make a really nice vegetable broth with this. Just chop it all up and put it in a big pot of water and cook it for a while, and you can just drink on that throughout the day. And then keep food simple. We don't want to overload our system with having to digest all sorts of crazy food. So keeping it really simple, be gentle on your body, and rest. That's the most important. It's not anything to do with food, but rest. So I love this quote. We want to take care of yourself so you can be at your best for others. If we're not at our best, then in our best health, we can't be of service to our family and our friends. I know with Leadership Fairfax, we can't be a leader in the business, in the workplace. So we really want to show up as our best self, and this is all a way that you can do it. So next week, we're going to be covering Mind Your Mind. Lori is going to be giving you some resources and some exercises about how to really be mindful in this time of uncertainty and stress. So that's going to be great. You don't want to miss that. So I'll open it up now. We can answer some questions or any comments. Let's see, chat box.
While people are thinking of questions, I just want to thank you. Oh my gosh, that was very thorough and very easy to focus on. So really appreciate that.
Good.
Really appreciate it.
All right, cooked versus raw, which is best for veggies. So there are some veggies that are more beneficial. Well, actually, they're beneficial both cooked and raw. So I would just recommend a variety of cooked and raw foods, and pay attention to how you're feeling. When it's cold outside, our bodies really like warm foods and cooked foods, and then when it's warmer outside, we can handle more raw foods. So I would just say mix it up, and then you can get the benefits of both raw and cooked. I'm thinking in particular, the thing that comes to mind is mushrooms, and there are benefits on both sides of cooked and raw mushrooms. So you can just mix it up however you like. Always like plantains, didn't understand why they were good for the gut. I love plantains too. And this presentation helped me realize they're even better, so that's great. How to increase energy. Yeah, I think if you're focusing on a whole foods diet and you're cutting out the sugar and the processed food, you're going to notice an increase of energy, because I mean these are the foods that we've been eating, whole foods for decades and decades. Processed foods is relatively new, and our body doesn't quite know how to handle it. So when we're feeding ourselves really great nourishing foods, then we're going to get an increase in energy that way. Uncured meat. Let's see. So I'm not quite sure in Essentia. Uncured meats, so just like regular, let's see, like turkey bacon. Yeah, so that I wouldn't. Turkey bacon's tricky because it does tend to have more ingredients to get it that way, and so I'm not entirely sure about turkey bacon if it's good or not. But just those process, like when they're adding salt and preservatives, yeah, it's still processed is the tricky thing with that. So I would just if you can avoid it or limit it, that would be a really good way to go. Let's see. I hope that answered that question. Processed nitrate-free uncured. Less sugar and carbs, you eat more often, get lightheaded, yeah. you definitely want to be fueling yourself. If you're just eating like a salad, then that's not giving yourself enough nutrients. Vegetables are less calorie dense than those sugary carbs and also meat. So you want to be, eating lots of vegetables, eating lots of fruit until you're satiated. So making sure you have enough calories is really important. Walk us through your process of reading food labels. So I didn't really touch on food labels, but this is important when you're going to the grocery store and you're shopping. What you want to look on the nutrition labels. My rule of thumb is just I need to recognize it and be able to pronounce the items in the ingredients. So if the list of ingredients are this long and I don't recognize, the good majority of it, I don't want to put that in my body, because if I don't recognize it immediately, my body really won't recognize it as a food source. So that's just kind of my general rule. Can you speak about the benefits of juicing and intermittent fasting? So juicing is a really great way to get nutrients quick from vegetables. So if you're wanting that boost and lots of easily absorbable nutrients, then juicing is a really great way to get that. I wouldn't rely solely on juicing, because you are missing out on all the fiber that you need for your gut. So if you can balance that out, if you do like a juice, then you can have that. Green juices are really good. I would stay away from like the pure fruit juices, because that's a lot of sugar and not any fiber to kind of balance that out. But every once in a while, juice is really good to get a quick fix of all your nutrients. And intermittent fasting is it's really individual. So there are benefits of fasting, and I do think that giving yourself a window of time through the day. So for instance, stopping eating at 8 o'clock at night and then not having breakfast till 8 the next morning. So giving your body 12 hours to reset, repair, and give it a break from digestion is really important. Some people can fast for longer, and there have been benefits towards that. But if you try fasting and you're feeling lightheaded, you're super hungry, I mean, that just isn't, it's not great for you to dive right into that, and it can kind of shock your body. So it's not a one size fit all. I'm cautious answering that, because it really is individual with intermittent fasting. So I hope that was.
I think there was one question that might have gotten skipped. So for times when we can't eat whole foods, what would you recommend?
I'm not sure. Oh, is that with the food label?
Oh, that could be.
I think that's what that was. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to close that chat. And so you guys can email me, visit my website. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. I couldn't figure out how to get the recipes and the grocery list on the chat. So if you go to my Facebook page, so that's facebook.com/simplywellwithemily, the recipes and the grocery list are on the Facebook page, so you can get them there. And I'd love to